Hello, I just thought I would show you what I've been working on. I'm trying to do like a display board for my samurai miniatures. I'm using the models from the Zenit miniatures. The game's called Kensei or something. I'm not a gamer. I just like always like to paint miniatures. I've been doing it since I was about 12, maybe even younger. But yeah. So I've never actually made any terrain before, so I kind of just learnt as I went. I just sort of got stuck into it and then just learnt as I went. Um, so the whole thing, all the rocks, everything like that, is all made out of foam, just insulation foam. I just went and got the sort of stuff which they put in roofs and I don't know, walls and I don't know, but yeah, I found it fairly easy to sculpt. I mean, I can kind of see the first rocks which I did, which are these guys on the right. They were the first ones I did, and then the more natural looking ones on the left is what I progressed into. It's kind of less is more. I was just trying to make it look. I don't know. That one's really forced. Oh, it's a cliff face, loads of jotting out bits and stuff like that. And then I realised that it's more sort of what happens, just let the knife sort of cut certain chunk bits out, and so I sculpted all of that, stuck it all together, PVA, layered it up, and then I made this. I just made this sort of frame out of bits of wood I found in different skips where I live in London. It's just just different selections of plywood. So yeah, screwed them all together. I silicone in the bottom just in case, So I've got a few layers built up of foam, and then underneath there's just bare wood. So I did coat that first, just in case when I was making it, if any, I don't know, inks or paint went through, it wouldn't just drip down onto my floor. Obviously, if you were making something like that, you wouldn't necessarily need to go to that measure. What else? Oh yeah, so once I sculpted all the foam, I actually poured on plaster of Paris onto the whole thing. I brushed it around, and the good thing about it was that it actually managed to get some of the detail. However, the bad or actually, it was all good. It managed to keep the detail, and it's made it a lot, sturdier. Like, it's absolutely solid now, which is a good thing. There was a little bit of detail loss just because of I didn't really keep an eye on it, and it pulled in areas where I don't know that there was more detail. And then after I did that, I went in with like a gloopy mix of like PVA, sand, like talcum powder. I just made a real mess, and then mixed it with emulsion paint, and I just sort of glooped it around areas which I thought looked a bit plain or flat, or pretty much all the rocky surfaces, they got a good, and I was just stippling the brush, and yeah, it ended up creating quite a good texture, I think. After that, I started painting it. I got a friend's airbrush. I just started going over with bits. At the moment, it is no way finished. There's rocks to paint. Also, I used Wooden Scenics Easy Water, and it was probably the biggest mistake. It looks terrible. I'm currently trying to think of ways in which I can sort it out. I mean, the problem with it was I heated it up, and by the time I poured it, it was like setting. So that's why you're getting this cloudy thing. That's why I've tried to pull it after I've poured it on to actually meet the land where I wanted it to. And it still has left this sort of lip, it's going down as opposed to going flat in. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to then get some like U-pole, or some heavy duty filler, or even green stuff I could use, but that'd probably cost a bomb. But I'd like make a bank which would bridge over to it so it didn't look so unnatural. Also, it's got a kind of a yellowy tinge to it, which I don't really mind. Water's never really blue. I mean, at this end, I tried to airbrush at the bottom of the, where I thought the water was going to be, but that still hasn't really helped the situation. Worst comes to worst, I could just peel it off, well, chip it off, or I could just paint over the top of it, make it flat, get some filler on there. But water's water. I'm just gonna see how the banks look once I've done them, and also I was gonna try heating it up whilst, I don't know if you can reheat it, because it comes in these granules. I don't know if you could reheat the granules to make them liquid again. What temperature they have to be at, actually, I'm not actually sure. So that might fail as well. Also, the grass, I need a lot more just to go into like little gaps, and flow down certain areas, and it's just I just kind of wanted to get the big patches done. Also, after I'd done all the foam work, I made this sort of brick wall. I don't know if you can see it very well. I don't know if you know about feudal Japanese houses. They have like this base to them made out of stone or wood or whatever. And yeah, I just used green stuff for that. And then I poured on top of that the plaster of Paris, just so it all blended in. And yeah, by all means, this is not complete. That's probably why you can't see the bricks very well. I haven't painted them. But this sort of lead up here to that hill, it's going to be one of those shrines type things. I mean, I'm making it all from scratch. I'm not very good at building, so it's taking a while. Plus, I've got a ton of miniatures to paint. These are the miniatures I have done, and I don't know if you've seen the Kensei miniatures, but they are amazing. They are so much fun to paint, and yeah, let me just show you this guy. He was really fun to paint. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that very well. And up here, again, there's a pool of water. I wanted it to sort of be like a weird sort of, I don't know, like quite a regal house. So there'd be like a sort of garden element type thing to it. But I'm building this house from scratch, just out of foam board. I'm just working on the roof at the moment. I'm just using cereal box to get that curve. It's becoming quite... Actually, I think it's working well. I mean, I was really stuck before. Also, the inside, I actually kind of wanted it to be a bit playable. So I've still got to put some texture in there, maybe some mats down or something. I do my research a little bit. And then on the outside, I've kind of got this like walkway going around it. There's paneling on the sides of the walls. Yeah, it goes all the way around. So it will look really good, hopefully, once it's done. Also, that's another thing, one last thing I'm going to add until I do another update, is I'm using decided to use the GW trees, purely because I hate the train track trees. They don't look good, they look like lollipops. I tried some on here and it looked terrible, and these are the only ones I kind of thought looked alright. They kind of have a sort of a bonsai look to them. But anyway, yeah, I'll post another update, keep you updated on what's new with the board, and yeah, thanks for watching.